Last game that we have to talk about, ACC Championship. We have Clemson taking on North Carolina. And yes, this is football, people, not basketball. You look at North Carolina, man, and I was talking to a lot of my homeboys about this game, and many of them think that Clemson is going to blow out North Carolina. And, I had a hard time agreeing with my homeboys when they were saying that because, yes, I understand that North Carolina, they're definitely trending in the wrong direction at the wrong time. When you make it to a conference championship game, you should be playing your best football. You should be peaking, not regressing. North Carolina got upset by Georgia Tech. Then, just last week, they lost again to their rival NC State in overtime. So this is a North Carolina football team right now that they're looking for some answers. And Clemson, they're coming off a loss as well to their rival in South Carolina. However, if you go back and you watch that game, they really lost that game because of Beamer ball. Special teams is what killed Clemson in that matchup. Now, Clemson's offense is probably going to be what a lot of Tar Heel fans are going to talk about in this game. They're going to say, oh, JT, you saw how DJ Uyunglele struggled against South Carolina. I mean, the dude isn't that great of a passer, and although our defense isn't great, we should be able to get a couple of stops in this game. And I agree with that. However, I think for that to hold true, for North Carolina's defense to be able to get some stops in this game, they have to be able to stop the run game first. And that really has been the strength of Clemson's team. Being able to have efficiency in the run game with DJ Uyunglele and Will Shipley at running back. So if you can shut down the run game of Clemson and you get them one-dimensional where the only way they can move the ball offensively is by throwing the football, then I think that your defense kind of has a little bit of an advantage. Yes, North Carolina, their defense hasn't been great all year. I understand that. However, if you were a North Carolina Tar Heels fan and defensively you had to pick which one you rather have Clemson beating you and dominating you on the ground, or you rather them beat you with DJ Uyunglele. I'm pretty sure Tar Heel fans rather the DJ Uyunglele part. Because at least you have a chance at getting some turnovers and some interceptions. Because DJ Uyunglele, he's not bad, but he's not great. And as a passer, he is extremely streaky. So you're going to have opportunities for some interceptions and some turnovers. And it does take DJ Uyunglele a while to get going. DJ Uyunglele is one of those players that if he starts the game out hot, he's going to have a good game. But if he starts the game out cold, he's probably going to struggle for the whole entire game. So for North Carolina, yeah, I know their defense hasn't been great this year. But I mean, it's not like you need your defense to be the Chicago Bears, the 46 Bears or something like that. You don't need that kind of defense, okay? North Carolina's offense, I think, should be able to put points up on Clemson's defense. Yes, I know that Clemson has one of the best defensive lines, if not the best defensive line in college football. And North Carolina's offensive line, you do have a lot of concerns about it with how they played over the last couple of weeks. However, their offense has Drake Maye at quarterback. Somebody who at one point, many people felt should have been the front runner for Heisman at one point. Now, he still has played some really good football, even though the Georgia Tech game probably his worst game of the season. But I think that North Carolina's offense is going to be able to get points on Clemson's defense because UNC, they have talent on the perimeter. Yes, we know that up front, Clemson is probably going to be able to have their way with them. However, I do think that the passing game is going to be there because I don't think Clemson's secondary is that good. And I know Clemson fans are going to get all rallied up about it, but the strength of this Clemson defense is in the front seven, not the secondary. I saw Spencer Rattler make some bad throws and some big mistakes against Clemson last week, and I also saw him make some really good throws against his Clemson secondary as well. And Clemson also got destroyed by Sam Hartman in Wake Forest. I mean, Sam Hartman had 6 touchdowns. He was 20 of 27, 337 yards, 6 touchdowns. He looked flawless. So I'm just saying that the strength of the defense for Clemson is in the front 7. Okay? North Carolina, we know that this team isn't going to have a lot of success running the football pretty much. But they don't need to. Okay? The strength of their team is throwing the football with Drake freaking Maye. He's thrown for 3,847 pass yards, 35 touchdowns, 5 interceptions, and he has 629 rushing yards as well. If you're North Carolina, you're just telling Drake Maye, go out there and do your thing. The defense, you're just crossing your fingers that you can get 2 or 3 stops. Maybe you get a turnover. Hopefully you can force DJ Uyunglele to throw an interception or 2, and that can help you out. But I think for North Carolina in this game, you don't need your defense to be fantastic. I think 3 or 4 stops could help you win this game. I think that may be what all you need. Because I think that your offense can score on Clemson's defense if your offensive line can hold up. Hopefully. Because you do have a really talented wide receiver and Josh Downs, who is the best wide receiver in this conference in my opinion. Super dynamic, 83 receptions, 929 receiving yards, and 11 touchdowns. The dude is a beast. I think he's going to be in for a big game. I also think Drake Maye could be in for a big game. It's just that, I kind of think that for North Carolina, they should be able to get up for this game. I think that, yes, Clemson is more talented, but I think offensively, if this game ends up being a shootout, and it definitely does have the potential to go that way, because even if Clemson is getting pressure on Drake Maye, right? UNC is an offense that even if you put them in third long situations, they can still convert. This is an offense that is more than capable of being able to generate big plays. So even if their offensive line struggles, which they most likely will, and they do get behind the chains, I still have confidence and their ability to get that yardage back because they do have Drake Maye. And this Clemson secondary is not all that great. As a matter of fact, you probably could call it average. So if I'm UNC defensively and I'm their defensive coordinator, I'm going all in on stopping the run, stopping DJ Uyunglele with his legs, and stopping Will Shipley and forcing Clemson to put the ball in the air. Clemson doesn't want to throw the football. I'm pretty sure if you talk to Dabo Swinney about what Clemson needs to do to win this game, I'm pretty sure airing the football out on North Carolina secondary is the last thing on this list. Clemson wants to run the football with Will Shipley. They want to limit how many times they have to throw the ball with DJ Uyunglele. And they really just want to beat you with the ground game. Now, they can beat you in the passing game. And DJ Uyunglele, he's not a scrub. And North Carolina doesn't have a good defense. So he is going to have some throws that are going to be made that you're going to say, ooh, nice throw. And he is going to have some throws that you say, ooh, where's the other dude at? You feel me? But the team I'm going to take to win this game, I'm going with Clemson. The reason why I'm taking Clemson to win, I spent a lot of time talking about North Carolina, but it's like, bruh, everybody expects Clemson to win this game. So I'd rather talk about how North Carolina can win this game versus just only talking for 3-4 minutes about why Clemson's going to win and North Carolina doesn't have a chance. Like, North Carolina has a legit chance at winning this game. Okay? We saw South Carolina beat Clemson. Hell, we saw Notre Dame beat Clemson. And Notre Dame's offense isn't better than UNC's. The only thing that Notre Dame has that UNC doesn't is an offensive line. That's it. Yeah, they can run the football, but I mean, if you're UNC, who gives a damn about running the football? You got Drake Maye. You can throw the football. Like, running the football, I don't really think it's a necessity in this game because you haven't really done it all this year. Play to your strength. Your strength is throwing the football. So air it out. South Carolina upset Clemson last week. This is a good possibility that UNC could do the same thing. I don't think this game is going to be a blowout. Clemson is a 7.5-point favorite. I'm going to take UNC to cover, but I think Clemson wins outright. Maybe I'm putting a little bit too much stock into teams being able to get up for these championship games and actually play at a high level. But I think that North Carolina should be able to give Clemson a competitive game. So Clemson is a team I'm going to take the win, but I do think that North Carolina covers. This is it for this episode of the JT Sports Podcast. I appreciate you guys for tuning in. Make sure that you guys give us a 5-star review. The JT Sports Podcast is available on all podcasting platforms, wherever you get your podcasts from. Spotify, Apple, Google, Amazon. The JT Sports Podcast is available. All you got to do is go down to the link down in the description or the pinned comment section, and it will give you direct links to the Spotify and Apple Podcasts. Or you can go to whichever podcasting service that you use. Type in the JT Sports Podcast, and it will pop up. Once again, make sure that you guys check out the JT Sports Podcast. Follow us on all of our social media platforms. Twitter at JT Sports __ and on Instagram at JT Sports _. And I appreciate you guys for listening to this episode of the